Washington Senator Patty Murray is working with Tennessee's Lamar Alexander on a new bipartisan health care deal, trying to save those subsidies that are so important to individuals. It's going to affect a lot of people here in Washington state.
People are wondering about the rates. King 5 political reporter Natalie is live in the newsroom now with Washington's Insurance Commissioner Kriedler in Olympia. Natalie.
Hi, Mark. And Insurance Commissioner Kriedler, I want to bring you into this conversation. Thank you so much for joining us. Now that this deal has been struck between Senators Murray and Alexander, it still has to pass the full Senate and House. You yourself at one time was in Congress. So are you confident this is going to happen?
I think it's going to be still a plan and kind of in the works until they come to the conclusion that number one for Senator McConnell is the Republican leader to bring it to the floor for a vote. That has not yet been definitively determined at this point. And I think one thing that's going to help a great deal, if the president stops talking with some ambiguity about funding these cost-sharing reduction payments, it's going to be tough to get it through the House without the president getting on board.
And as these negotiations are underway, you are about to approve the 2018 rates in the individual market here in Washington. So I want to put up a graphic on our screen to show what has been proposed. This is starting during the summer, an average of 22% rate increases, and without CSR cost sharing reductions, without cost sharing payments, that could be an additional 9 to 27% on top of that. So realistically, what can people expect to pay, and how might the negotiations affect your approvals?
Well, for some people, there's a potential there of seeing the rate increases being as high as almost 50%, particularly if you're an individual who does not receive a subsidy and buys a silver plan inside the exchange. So it's going to be a challenge right now to tell people, buy a bronze plan, buy a gold plan if you're not receiving a subsidy and you're buying through the exchange, but don't stay with the silver because you're going to pay a premium, almost doubling for what you're going to see as a regular rate increase.
Now, during the summer, when I was reporting on these proposed rate hikes, documents revealed that Washington's top 3 insurers are sitting on a collective $3.5 billion surplus. So why is that?
Well, it's something that they'd accrued over a number of years. Right now, my major concern is to make sure that we don't see the insurers leaving the market. And we would need to make sure that at least in the part that we regulate in the individual market right now, that they're not losing money. And inside the exchange, that's not been the case. So we're really up against the wall to approve rates that can be justified, though I think in time, they've got to take into account the high degree of surplus that they're building up, but now is not the time. We want to make sure they stay in the market so consumers have choices.
And you are set to approve the rates, I believe, by the end of this month. So our conversations with you will continue as we track what's happening in D.C. as well. Thank you so much, Insurance Commissioner Kriedler, for joining us.